Okay, not gonna lie, this is not something I want to do right now. I am mentally and physically tired. I had a Pilates session this morning, but my camera's set up, I gotta do it. So I'm sure you all can relate. You probably just don't want to even work out right now, but we're gonna do it together anyway. And hopefully this is truly a feel-good flow and we will be glad we did it at the end. So start standing at the back of your mat. Let's just reach up and grab a hold of your elbows above your head. And shifting the weight more so into your heels than your toes. Sending the booty back, soft bend in those knees. You're gonna start to hinge your torso forward. So think about sending the booty back a bit here, lengthening that spine as far as you can, getting that length in those hamstrings, and then start to round that spine, folding forward. Letting the head and arms be heavy here. And then keep rounding that spine, pull belly button back, and start to lift up to standing again, stacking the spine. And reach those arms back overhead. Keep holding those elbows. And again, same thing, hinge forward. Keep that straight spine as long as you can until you need to start rounding to fold forward. And let the head and arms be heavy. And slowly roll up, bone by bone. One more like that, warming up the spine. Awakening both the front and back of the body. Shifting forward. And rounding down. And roll up to stand. And then we'll take hands into prayer. And we're just going to do squat, stand, and reach overhead. Squat with prayer. Stand and reach. Just warming up that body, connecting to our breath. Lengthen and send the booty back. I'm going to do, I think, more reps than usual today. I'm going to really lean into getting into sort of that meditative state of doing repetitive movements. So your body knows what to do. You don't have to think about it too much, you're just going through the motions. And just listening to your body. Last one. All right, and rolling down one more time, walking out to your down dog. Take a moment here, lift those hips nice and high, drop your heels, pedal it out, stretch out those calves. Really reach those fingers away, letting your chest reach for the mat. All right, now we've got a little plank series here. We're gonna go shoulder tap, knee to opposite elbow, step to low lunge, reach back, and step to low lunge. We switch and reach back. So that's the flow. We come back to plank, shoulder tap, knee to elbow, step to lunge, reach back, step to lunge, reach back, shoulder tap, knee across, step to lunge, and reach. lunge, and reach. A real full body awakening, waking up the mind, stretching the hips, getting a nice twist in, waking up digestion, all of the things. Tap, tap, knee, knee, lunge, lunge. My arms are feeling it. I've got 2 more rounds. Last round. Tap, tap, knee, knee, lunge, twist and reach. Lunge, twist and reach. And hands back to the mat, coming to your knees for cat-cow. Around that spine. And drop the spine. It's a little cardio. Catching your breath, looking over each shoulder. And then reaching that right arm up, twisting up towards the sky, coming down to your right shoulder, thread that needle, and twist. You can open up that top arm as well, hook it under your hip. And back to the mat, reach up one more time, and lower, and switch, left arm up, and coming down, thread it through, wringing out the spine. Opening up that top arm as well if you'd like. And back to the mat. Let's press back, child's pose. Definitely have some challenging, strengthening exercises balanced out with a lot of restorative stretches. The ideal workout. Alright, coming to your right hand and right knee, sort of in this kneeling side plank position. That top hand can be on your hip or reaching up. We're going to do a hip dip and then lift that leg. Lift and lift. Lower and lift. So working that glute med, obliques, shoulder, lower and lift. Last 2 and 1. Keep those heels together. You're going to open and close the knees here for clam in this pulling position. If it's too challenging, just come down to your forearm here. The last 2 and 1, coming down to your forearm. Legs are long. We're going to do développé, running the toes along that bottom leg. Extend the leg up and lower down. Run it up, extend, lower. Run it up, extend, lower. Keep trying to pull the core in, lifting that lower rib, pressing the shoulder down and away. Definitely a little external rotation here that top leg. And we're gonna switch direction. Now you're gonna run down the leg, lift, bend it in, run down, lift, bend it in, run down. You should feel this in the inner and outer thighs. That top hand is into the mat to support you here. Last one. Shifting to your center forearm plank before we switch. And we're just gonna roll through the toes for a little toe stretch. Shifting back and forth from the balls of your feet to your tippy toes. Moving forward over those shoulders. Four, three, two, and one. Coming to your left side, hand and knee. Here we go. We got hip dip and lift. Hip dip and lift that top leg. Last 3, 2, 1. Keeping those heels together, opening and closing the knees, or knee for a clam. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Come down to your forearm. Legs are long. Running those toes along that bottom leg. Extend it up and reach long. Little dancer-y, ballerina-y move. Keep the lifting bottom rib. Make sure you're not sinking into your shoulder. And switch direction, bend it in and run down the leg. Lift, bend, run down. Lift, bend, run down. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rolling onto your stomach. Arms are wide in goalpost position, so they're bent 90 degrees at shoulder height. Let's roll onto your right hip here, pressing into that left hand. Feeling that deep stretch, opening the front of the right shoulder. Coming back through center, we switch, dropping that left elbow down, pressing into the right hand, rolling onto the left hip. This feels so good. So good for posture, to roll our shoulders back. It's also really nice if you have sore pecs. And coming back through center, goalpost position with those arms. You're gonna lift the chest and then reach arms forward, pull those elbows in. Reach and pull, reach and pull. See if you can get the chest a little higher as you pull those elbows in. Pull and then dive forward. Your core is really engaged to support you here. Last 4. Last 2. And 1. Hands into the mat, right under your shoulders, pressing up to swan. Lifting the gaze, dropping those hips to the ground. Looking over each shoulder. And pressing back to puppy pose. So keeping those hips right above your knees, lengthening out the arms, dropping the chest for the floor. Really targeting the extension in that thoracic spine. All right, coming back up to hands and knees. We're gonna tuck those toes under and bow forward, bringing those elbows to the mat. Lift and down dog. So you shift back forward, a little tricep dip, and down dog. Drop the knees, drop the elbows. Press and press. Again, one of those movements, we're gonna do lots of reps. Once your body knows what to do, it's just muscle memory. You're just flowing through it. Just moving energy through the body. Starting to feel those triceps. And lovely stretch through the back of the legs. Two more. Nice job. Just take a break, shake out those wrists. Coming back to hands and knees, we're going to do a bird dog variation. So let's reach left arm and right leg. And then you're going to reach for your foot, quad stretch, reach, lengthen out long, and lower. And we're going to alternate. So switch, reach, quad stretch, extend, and lower. Lengthen, stretch, reach, and lower. Keep pulling those ribs and belly button in and back to engage that core, to support you, stabilize you through this movement, taking it nice and slow. It's a good class to get a good playlist going for. And last one. And lower. Nice job. Coming to your back for some ab work. Feet together, knees out wide. So you're kind of in that butterfly stretch, opening up the hips. Hands behind your head, and just some chest lifts here, curling up head, neck, and shoulders, and lower. Draw ribs down. Think about lifting the chest more so than crunching forward. You want to go up. Find height. Targeting those upper abdominals. Exhale as you lift. Last 3, 2, and 1. You're going to hold that chest lift up, and keeping heels together, you're going to extend legs long and then pull knees in nice and wide. So you're keeping that Pilates V with the feet, just keeping heels together. Hold that chest lift, knees in and extend, press out. Use those inner thighs and pelvic floor, squeeze those legs as you press away. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Quick break. And lastly, we're going to do scissors, my favorite. Grab the back of one shin, lengthen the other leg long. Curl up head, neck, and shoulders. And we switch and switch. Really try to pull that leg in towards you to stretch the hamstring. And then lengthen that leg long to hover over the mat, opening up the hip flexor. Three, 2, and 1. Hug those knees in, rock it out. Feet into the mat. Legs are hip width distance apart. Arms are down by your sides on the mat. And tuck that pelvis under, rolling up the spine to your shoulder blades, coming to your bridge. Squeeze those glutes and inner thighs and pelvic floor here. Make sure you have width through the front of your chest, shoulders are wide. And slowly start to melt that spine back down onto the mat, bone by bone, really tucking that pelvis until you get to your low spine. And then untuck that pelvis, neutral spine. And again, just articulate through the spine, rolling up to your bridge. And then lower that sternum, upper ribs, lower ribs, low spine, and pelvis. One more like that. Rolling up, bone by bone. Hold here in your bridge. We're going to do hip dips. So 1 hip dips at a time, and then lift back up and switch. Notice my knees are staying still. You don't really want those knees rocking side to side. If anything, think knees are going forward. So you're dropping your pelvis side to side, twisting through that low spine. Squeeze that glute to lift. And squeeze, squeeze. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower that spine down. And let's bring right foot over the left knee. Hug in that figure 4. Just stretch it out and roll out your ankle. And let's switch. Left foot over right knee. Hug it in. triangle. And lengthen legs out along your mat. Reach arms overhead. Just lengthen that whole body. And then on your exhale, reach arms up and forward. Start to roll up to a seated position. Reaching for your toes, fold forward. Coming to a seated position. Just going up and over, side bend. Keeping those sit bones anchored into the mat. And up and over, other side. Just find space in between each rib. And coming back up to sit tall. We are done. I hope you feel good. Thanks for joining me.